Welcome to Star Citizen. So the service beacons or bounty hunting? Which is better? First of all, let's keep it simple. You should do service beacons whenever you can because there can be some really nice missions in there which will give you a lot of money for equally decent amount of time spent. Or perhaps even small amount of time spent. Secondly, service beacons are not always available, so it might be better to go and do ship combat with bounty targets or perhaps even to an extent mercenary work if you do find yourself at a specific location where there happens to be a lot of it. Actually, with both of them, there is a grind. With service beacons, you do need to get your proficiency up, your reputation so to say, so you will eventually get better ones, but also those can be snatched by other players. Seeing as the servers are quite big these days, there is a lot of competition for the service beacons. Plus, you should always keep an eye on how far the mission is, as the faraway missions you probably won't make it, as there is roughly around 5 minutes or even less time window to make it to this location. But compared to the bounty hunters grind, you will need to hit it a lot harder, you will need to do different varieties of missions, different locations. It's not all just attached to ship combat. But to make your way to earn some nice pay, the grind is very heavy. So the service beacons are a great tool, great option, great way to make money, and you should never really avoid them if you can. What is the best time to do them? Usually in the morning or at night, very late at night when there are very few players, as then there is somewhat of a bigger chance of you doing these missions alone and actually managing to get some proper grind in. Still, these two options are one of the best money makers or money making missions you can do in this game. Now you can make some really nice money with other professions and other missions as well. Perhaps some of them are even a bit simpler, but even when you're doing those with a light fighter, it is good always to keep an eye out for those service beacons, as these missions even with a light fighter are quite doable, enjoyable and pay out nicely. You might want to avoid the critical ones if you're doing it with a light fighter, but other than that, most of everything should be able to, well, at least be competitive in lighter, smaller ships. Plus, the NPCs in some of these missions can offer you support as well, so you might not be doing all the work alone. Still, it is a lot likelier that you will find or do bounty hunting missions in a bigger number than you with these service beacons, but this is just a reminder, don't forget them, don't ignore them. Even if you have less than ideal ship, but it has guns, it can do it. You just need to be very careful, very aware what kind of ship you have, what kind of mission you're doing, and just try to balance it out properly so you don't go too greedy and you don't play it too safe. Because the friendly NPCs can die as well, so you might want to pull some attention to yourself. Not saying it's a good idea, not always, and even with a poor, sorry, weak ship, you can actually make it really far. As fun as bounty hunting can be with different varieties, to actually get to a decent pay you need to do a very heavy grind, as you can't just jump into it and go for those heavy targets. Now the good thing is variety comes pretty fast, and after you have done the first assessment, perhaps done the first low risk target, you will already get a mission to the bunker, to the cave, to the derelict or some other specific location where you can finish off some hostiles. These missions still take time. Perhaps they're not as time consuming as some of these mercenary work missions, but you do need to be on your feet and prioritize what you consider the best option for you. If you prefer ship combat or you prefer just going into the bunkers, caves and dealing with the hostiles in first person. So the best case, of course, do bounty hunting missions and then swap to service beacons whenever you can. Once you know your reputation is up, you can start avoiding the low risk ones if they're not worth your time, but all of these missions are quite nice, there's something to do and there's usually some decent money to be earned. Have fun doing them, either the bounty hunting or service beacons, as they're both tremendously good options. Anyway, thanks for watching.